my name is Terri Sproul and I want to welcome you to my studio. The month of December I have the pleasure of being a guest designer for Frog Dog Studios. And on my blog, which is terrisproul.blogspot.com, I made this wonderful little wall hanging. But I wanted to show you some of the very cool techniques that I used to make this in an art journal. So come on down to my workstation and let me show you how I did it. You have a wonderful day. Okay, we're down here at my desk and I want to show you the same technique that I did on the project that I'm talking about on my blog. This one. I'm going to do the same technique that I did on here in an art journal for you. So let's go into my art journal. And the first thing I want to do is make up some molding. This is molding cream, and it's from Viva. And I also got in the kit some silks. And they are, let me zoom in on that for you. I got two colors. There's the silks. They're little jars. I got this reddish color and this green color. Fern and Carmen. So first thing I want to do is actually show you how to mix those into the molding cream. So I've got my Teflon sheet here, and that's strictly for cleaning reasons. And this, normally when I use this, if I use it directly out of the jar, I can put it back in, but since I'm not going to be able to do that this time because of the fact that I'm going to turn it a certain color. I don't want to try to get too much out of here, but I definitely want to get enough to do what I need to make. Now I want to use one of the colors. I think I'm going to use the red. And this is actually called Carmen. And you can either use the same palette knife and dip in there, or you can grab like a toothpick, or this is a craft stick, works really well. And you just want to get some color in there. And how much color you get in there, this is really up to you at this point. How dark do you want it? And you'll figure that out as you mix it in. So I'm going to start mixing here. Let's see how, and I put, quite a bit of the red in because I wanted it to be very, red. I wanted it to be almost a true color. I don't want pink. And this molding cream, what's kind of cool about it is it has a pearlescent look to it. So whatever color you add to it also gives you a pearlescent look. And I think that's kind of cool. Where like the molding pastes and stuff that I use from Golden Stuff don't give you this pearlescent look. You would have to add another mixative into your molding paste to get that. Where this gives it to you automatically. So that's kind of cool. So, okay. Make sure you clean your spatula right away. You don't want that to harden on there. So I've got my mixture here all mixed up and got a good color going. I'm happy with the color. Now I'm going to bring my journal back. Also in the kit, we've got this Tim Holtz's new stencil. This is the one called Cargo, and it's basically just letters. Now on my project that I made, the wall hanging, I did half on each side. And I think I'm going to do that exact same thing. Let me scoot out just a little bit so you guys can see just a little better. There you go. So as you see, what I'm doing is I'm putting the stencil on half on the page and half off. And then you want to grab your spatula again. And I always use the back side of the spatula. I find that easier than trying to pick up on the top. So I literally will turn it over. Let me bring this in so you can see that. And I scoop up the molding paste on the back. So that's the back of the spatula. Now I'm going to go over here, lay this down where I want it. And you don't want a really thick coat. You do want to make sure you hold down your stencil really well. And you can keep pushing this all the way through all of these letters that I have exposed here. Now, like I said to you earlier, if this was all the same color, I would put that right back into the jar. But obviously I don't want to do that because it'll contaminate my jar into red. If you do have a separate jar, that you could put that into that jar if you made too much. So that's perfect. And then what I do is you want to gently lift it straight up. And then you should have a perfect image. See how cool that looks? Now I'm going to do that exact same thing on this side. You do want to make sure before you lay it down that there's no little spots hanging out there, because it will ruin, see it, it will catch on your page. And you don't necessarily want that. So let me put this to the side so I can clean this real quick before I lay it down. And then I'm going to lay it back down on my book and do the other side. So that's why I made so much. Because I knew I'd planned on doing both sides. There we go. Again, picking it up from the back. Start laying it into my numbers. Letters. Numbers and letters. So this is just like icing a cake, except probably a lot less icing. A very lightly iced cake, I guess. I definitely don't put it on as much as I put on icing. Guess I never thought of it that way. Okay, lift that up. Perfect. And then again, you want to get this into into water as soon as possible to get that cleaned off. Now I did get that smeared, and I'm just going to work with it because I don't stress on that stuff. If you guys have watched me do journals in the past, you know I don't stress on this stuff. I'm going to quickly give it a little dry so I can go on to the next step. This is one of the reasons you want to get it on really, not heavy, so that you can get it dry. Okay, now I'm going to take the same silk, but in green. This is the fern, and I'm going to put that on the whole page. I'm just grabbing my paintbrush this time. So this time I'm actually going to use it as a paint. Now this is kind of more like, it's not really like a paint. They call it actually acrylic stain, I believe. Acrylic glaze. Which, if you guys have been on my Tuesday show, you know that a glaze is kind of a watered down version of paint. And it doesn't necessarily change the color, where if you used actual water, it would change the color. It makes it really thin, and it also makes it take longer to dry. Now, why would you want that? Sometimes if you do resist techniques, which is kind of what I'm going to do here, you want it to have a little open time, which is the artist word for it doesn't dry quickly, so that you can come back and take the paint off where you don't want it to be. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute here. So yes, I'm going directly over my letters over here, which almost looks like I'm ruining them, but I won't. This is how I did that technique also on the wall hanging, on the canvas stuff that was in that kit. fingerprints. Okay, so what I would do, give that just a few seconds to sit up, and then I take a baby wipe and you go directly over those letters, and all that will come off. All that paint will come off. See how that is? Isn't that cool? So it acts as a resist, and you still get that shiny red letters that are going on over there. And I'm going to do this side. So this is going to be a really fun, like, countdown to Christmas type page or something. I don't know yet. Okay, like that. Again, giving it a few seconds to set up while I close up my lid. And you do want to have a clean spot on your baby wipe, because if you go in with the green paint where it was wet before, it's just going to keep putting it back on, not taking it off. And the goal is to take it off, not put it on. At least in this technique. Okay, likey so far. So there we are. Let me zoom in on that so you can see that really nicely. Doesn't that look good? So awesome. Love the way that shimmers. So those are really fun products to use. I haven't played with them before, to be honest. So now I want to come in and do some more fun stuff on my background. Also in the kit, we got some of these clear stamps. These are from Prima. I couldn't find the name of the stamp on here, but it kind of looks like a snowflake to me. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to put it on a clear block here. And I'm going to use red stays on. But I only want to put it in the center here. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper and I'm going to use it as a mask. So I'm going to mask this right here, and I'm going to stamp around that. And you'll understand here in a second. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry about that. So I just ripped a piece of paper to act as a mask for me. I'm using some red stays on. I'm inking up that stamp. And again, I'm going to protect those letters because I don't want them to show or to be stamped on. And I am just going to randomly stamp this image in the center section here. And I don't stress out that the image is not perfect. If it's really important to me, I could always come in and re-stamp it, or I can take a pen and fix the image later. But right now it's not important to me. So I don't stress out about that stuff in my journals. This is all about having fun. If you're not into doing art journals, it's all about having fun and enjoying your art, not stressing over it. See, look how cool that looks. Do the same thing over here. Ink up my stamp. Make sure you stamp off your book also, just like you do when you make cards and stuff. We stamp off of our cards. Do the same thing when you do your art journals. It's the same technique. I got ink all over my fingers, so I had to wash them. Okay. Okay, so there's that. Isn't that looking awesome so far? Okay, now we also got in that kit a lot of really nice ephemera. Now I've used a lot of it already, as you see, but I think I'm going to use this image up here. So I'm going to quickly cut that out. I used a lot of the product already in the kit. This is actually the third project I've done with the same kit. So you get a lot of bang for your buck. I'm going to use this in here somehow, probably like that. And I also got, these were not in the kit, but I felt they needed to go on this page because of the color, so I'm going to use them. Sleigh Bells Ring, Are You Listening is a cute one. I also like these little borders. I think I'm going to use these borders. Now these are stickers. I believe they're from K & Company, I believe. And when I do use stickers in my journals, I do go over them with gel medium. Gel medium is an adhesive from, this one's from Golden, but they also make it from Liquitex. And actually so does Faber-Castell makes it also. So I'm using these two borders. So this is becoming my background on my book here. Liking that so far. Like I said, I think I'm going to put this here. Now whenever I go over the crack there, I would actually fold this. So once I figure out where I'm going to put it exactly, I will fold that and then glue it down. And since I've got a little more room, I think I'm actually going to grab this other image right here too. These images are really nice. They would probably make a great transfer. I'll do something like that, and then come in with the Sleigh Bells Ring. Like right there. And then put Merry Christmas across the top. I think it's a done page. And I can either do Merry Christmas in some stickers, letter stickers would work. Real quickly. So, got all my letters down there. Now I'm going to go back in and grab my gel medium and glue this down. So now that I know where I'm going to put it, I'm going to fold it like I said. So I did fold it, so it'll go right into that crack really nicely and it won't give me problems. And I always glue underneath. And this is a matte gel medium, and since I am using a matte gel medium, I can go directly over it and it's not going to change the look of my page or take away any of the shine. It'll go right over. And I'm going to go over, as you will see here in a second, I'm going to go over that sticker I laid down here. This does dry clear. I'm going to go over this sticker right here to make sure, this is just to make sure that these things never come up. I'm going to go over all my Merry Christmas that I wrote up there on top. I got to get this guy down. So I always put glue on the back. I lay it down. I should have folded that corner. Practice what I preach, not what I do. Ha ha ha. And I go around the whole thing with more gel medium. Get it all glued down. Again, across these letters across the top where it says Merry Christmas. These letters will never pop up on you if you do this little step here. And all this will dry clear, even though it looks a little milky right now. I promise it'll dry clear and you won't even see it. And you'll love the results. Okay, I really like this quick page I did with you guys. And I hope you check out my blog. Thank you very much for joining me today. Let me zoom in on that page for you so you can get a really good look, and I also will put a picture at the end. Let me bring it up. This camera is harder to deal with. So, really nice page. You can see the detail in the letters there. See how cool those are? And those are actually raised just a little bit. Okay, again, thanks for joining me.